What's going on, gals and ghouls, to episode 11 of The Letter. This little girl wants to be my friend. Fuck off.
Mama said it's rude not to call people by their names.
She then flops down on the empty space beside me. Her little leg, still too short to touch the ground, swings in tune with the song she hums under her breath. I don't mind kids. Nana would often invite the ones in our neighborhood over to give what? Of course, by then Sis and I were both too old to play with them, but you get used to the commotion eventually. It's not completely as unpleasant as most people would imply. Kylie seems to be a well-behaved kid anyway.
Oh, sorry. Nice to meet you, Kylie. Is Mama here?
No, but my big brother's with me. He's taking pictures with his camera over there.
She points to the far end of the park, the one closest to the street where a kid is taking shots of something above him. Doesn't look to be birds because all there is on the other side of the park are buildings.
I don't see what's so interesting with the tip of a building, though. I'd take pictures of dogs if I were him. They're cuter. Do you have a camera too, mister?
Yeah, I'm actually a photographer.
Mama said I'm too young to get a camera.
I'm sure your mama will eventually give you one. But won't you be late for school like this?
Big brother will get us there on time. Rowan promised Papa. We aren't going to be late. It's sports day. So it's not good if you keep looking like that today. If it ends up raining and we lose, it's your fault.
All right, I'll try not to upset the clouds today, kid.
Is it because you're sick, mister?
Before I know it, a smile has spread over my face. They say kids ask the toughest questions sometimes, and they sure do, with how sincere Kylie looks. Lying feels like doing her a huge disservice.
Not sick. Just having a very, very bad day.
Why is that? Is that like when my big brother ate all of my pudding? He did that once and then cried. It wasn't very nice of him.
Yeah, I think so. You see, there's this mean girl. She's given my friends and I a lot of trouble. Hard to keep up when things are like that, you know? Especially when you can't do anything. It's kind of scary. Makes you wish things will just stay as peaceful as they used to be.
Maybe she just wants to be friends with you?
I highly doubt that. She already hurt one of my friends.
What if she's just sad? Or maybe she just wants help. That's what happened with Melody. I let her borrow my crayon when she left hers. Now we're playmates.
It's not really the same thing, Kylie. What she did, they're pretty bad things.
I still think there's another reason. Did you try talking to her? That's what Mama said I should do.
I don't think that'll work either.
You haven't even tried yet. You sound like Rowan. You're just scared, mister.
It strikes a chord. Maybe it's the honesty in her tone, or simply the truth in the words itself. I don't know why, but I can't help it. I laugh, loud enough to disturb an elderly couple taking a leisure walk nearby.
Why are you laughing?
That's nothing. You're a really smart kid, you know that?
That's what I've been doing, ain't it? Go full speed ahead, then backtrack when the going gets tough. Stay in my safe zone because that's what I know. Once Dr. Navarro said I should be the first one willing to deal with my problems before anyone else. I didn't show up on our next appointment after that, but he's right. And though I hate to admit it, knowing what I've seen, but the kid makes a good point too. I've been so caught up thinking there might not be a way out. Maybe there isn't, or maybe there is, but that doesn't mean I should have to just leave it up to fate.
You better get to school, though, or you'll miss sports day. You should have won yourself some awards, aight?
Alright. Can I show it to you when I do? That can cheer people up, right?
In the distance, her brother calls for her, and I took that as a sign to leave. Got things to do to face the first few steps, they say.
Nah, I'm good now, I think. Thanks to you. Besides, Mister needs to go. But you should show it to Mama and Papa. I'm sure they'll be proud of you, Kylie.
I will. Thanks, mister. Bye.
I give her a little pat on the head before heading my way. A small gesture of thanks from a stranger she didn't know she might have helped. She may not understand it now, even though at such a young age she already has this understanding of things, but maybe when she's older, when the world no longer seems too big for
But
her.
aren't you going to help me, mister?
With what?
Confused, I glance back. Ah, shit. Whatever cheer our little talk brought has vanished under the shadows, suddenly dancing my eyes. This frigid air is most definitely not how the morning chills should feel like, bitter, stinging, unwelcoming. And the kid...
What do you think, mister? Are you going to help me?
Leave us alone! What did we do to you?
The response never comes, however. Because when I blinked, gone.
Hello? Mister? Are you okay?
For several passing seconds, I let my stare linger on her face, waiting for any sign of another change. But all that remains in there is the carefree smile of a child, none of the spite, none of the cold, bloody smile.
Nothing, huh? I really need to go, Kylie. It was nice meeting you.
See you again, mister!
I break into a run. I don't look back, not even as I bump into a couple of passerbyers as soon as I'm out on the busy street. Going insane, this is what it is. And if we don't do something soon, we will be. The tremors follow me. Oh my god, I hoped a little stroll around the block for a few hours would help. Instead, I am assaulted with more images of her smile, the loathing in her eyes, the stench of gore, the horrid crunch that comes from with every movement she makes. Even old memories have been sullied by her, and Ma Song no longer sounds as sweet as it meant to be. In the end, all I got is a sinking feeling that I never got rid of her image, and another ridiculous idea that may or not even work. The sun is already hanging low on the horizon when I make it back. And for the first time, coming home feels more like a chore. Only I didn't arrive to an empty room. Because as soon as I open the door, I am greeted by none other than...
Sup, Z-Man?
I told you we should have called him before going here.
It's fine.
It is Ashton I see first, sitting comfortably on my couch, munching on a bag of chips with both feet propped atop the coffee table. Whatever proverbial stone that is made at the pit of my stomach automatically flies right out the window at the sight of him. But before any exasperation can set in, my attention is taken by the other occupant in the room. Isabella perches on the only other chair in the room, attempting to make herself smaller, it seems, from how closely she's hugging her arms against her. Nevertheless, she gives me a small smile when she notices my stare. Yet somehow there ain't any warmth in it like it's supposed to have.
Hey, Zach. Sorry we just barged in here. Ash was...
Relax. Z-Man gave me a copy of the key himself.
Only after you broke the 13th one? I can't keep replacing them every time you think it'd be a good idea to break into my apartment. And stop calling me Z-Man!
I didn't break anything this time.
Ash, just because I gave you a key doesn't mean you can just stroll in here whenever you want to. And, hey, is that my...
Ash smirks at me, because of course he has the gall to smirk knowing what he did. He pops in what's very likely the last piece of chip into his mouth and folds the wrapper neatly on the table before throwing it on the nearby trash. From her chair, Isabella shoots me an apologetic smile as soon as the foil hits the waste bin with the dull thunk. Common sense dictates that I should be angry, but after everything, having something normal play out in front of me, no matter how childish their antics can get, I can't bring myself to muster even a tidbit of it. Behind me, the television starts blaring the music for the end credits of a movie. They have likely been waiting for a while if Ash had gotten impatient enough to rummage through my cupboards and watch something.
Of course he eats all of it. You know, I was saving that for the weekend. Did you at least share some with Bella?
Don't worry about it. I'm good, Zach.
Really? It's free food, you know? What was that you usually say? You don't say no to free food? What happened?
No, I'm just not hungry.
Ash only shrugs at the question in my eyes. Can't be the only one who finds this vibe she's giving off to be odd, and the guy has no doubt already caught wind of it.
Aye. But if you want something, just say so. I've got a fully restocked pantry right here at your disposal. Still not a 5-star level thing, but for an empty stomach, it'd do. Just say the word.
Thanks, Zach. Maybe next time. Food is not really what we came here for. Ash, he's the one who...
She casts brief glance at Ash. In an instant, he sits up. Every trace of amusement is gone from his face as he claps his hand in front of him and leans forward. A minuscule gesture meant to ease, yet the grim expression on him tells a different story
All right,
altogether.
you two, what's this about? I don't like those looks.
A short but tense pause follows. They're both stalling. Under normal circumstances, I'd wait. With these two, the more you force it, the more they'll clamp down on it. But as a handful of seconds continues to slip by, the unsettling feeling in me also grows with it. Soon it turns into impatience. Or I can demand a response, though. One of them finally speaks up. It is Isabella who breaks it first.
We just thought we should check on you. After what happened to Rose,
Please don't tell me something happened again.
No, nothing. None so far. And we're keeping it that way as much as possible.
Ash, it's not that easy. This isn't some...
We don't know that. Let me...
The bitter frustration in his tone is impossible to miss, but he catches it as soon as Isabella draws back. He allows himself a moment to breathe before dropping it for one less harsh, more tempered, gentler.
Let me look at this first, okay? I agreed to help, but you've got to let me handle things from now on.
I already told you everything.
There must be something we're not seeing in this just yet. We'll sort this out, but no more silly ideas and running around on your own. You're making people worry more than necessary. Becca, especially.
So everything's fine?
Depends on who you're asking. How are things with you? Anything odd?
Good, I guess. Admittedly, how things went down at the housewarming party last night threw me off a bit.
I'm not asking about that. Remember the letter thing Isabella's been yapping on about? I'm asking about that kind of odd.
I look at him. Gaped, more like. His serious expression doesn't waver despite the perplexed look I shoot him. There is a brief second I let pass as I wait for the heavens to fall somewhere. Doesn't come. The sky is still bathed in the vibrant reddish hues as it waits for the night to arrive. Luxembourg is still the same busy city, and everything in my room still appears as it did a second ago, including the unnerving ticking of my wall clock. But if Ashton, calm, cool, collected, always logical Ashton, takes interest in this, something or someone must have fucked shit up elsewhere.
They're a lot worse than usual.
Why don't you continue?
There's a woman now, ever since we saw that letter. I don't know if it's the same one Isabella talked about. Maybe it is, maybe it ain't. I really don't want to go back to sleep sometimes. Last night was the worst. Anyway, why are you asking about this?
Rose's death isn't just a coincidence, Zach. It may have something to do with... I may have...
Wait, stop right there for a sec, Bella. I thought you ain't buying this stuff, Ash. Just the other day, you said the exact same thing.
I still don't, but even Rebecca, out of all people, claims there's something. Whatever this is, someone has got to look into it. Everything about this screams shady.
Are you sure you even have the time? Ain't you busy with your current case?
I got taken off that one.
You didn't say you were taken off your case.
I just got the news this morning. Apparently, the higher-ups think I'm doing a horrendous job at it. It doesn't matter, though. If these two cases are connected like I initially thought, then regardless, I'm on the right track.
Are you sure we should even be doing this?
Doing what exactly?
There's someplace we'll visit after this.
Too vague for comfort, Ash. And please don't tell me you're bringing her with you.
His affirmation comes in the form of a stare, but that alone says all I know. What I pointed out gives him a pause, though, and his voice is thick with hesitation when he addresses
You know what?
Isabella.
Zach's right, Isabella. You don't have to come with me.
It's not myself I'm worried about. It's you. I'll just do this myself, if it'll get you into more trouble with your superiors. At least I can make up an excuse why I need to be there.
Don't be ridiculous. You're not walking in there without me. Besides, I think it's a little too late to back out now. Have you two seen the news this morning?
I haven't, actually. Mama called, and I was busy.
The change in the air around her, while small, cannot have gone unnoticed, and it takes every willpower not to ask. Probably the only thing reigning in my curiosity is the fact that Ash himself hasn't brought it up either.
No problem. It should be in the afternoon news as well.
He grabs the remote and cycles through numerous channels until he gets to a news report about another guy who's been found dead in the early hours of the morning today. Burned alive this time. Oddly, no fire has spread, and whatever damage had been contained within the place the body was found. The room itself, however, had been completely vandalized. Help me. Help me. Help me. Another murder, the authorities claimed. Isabella and I knew better. None of us shifts even after the report ends, but the room has suddenly felt stifling. Ashton's eyes have gone hooded with what appears to be restrained anger, and the remote in his hand creaks mildly under his grip. The stone is back in my stomach. Tiny little thing gripping at my insides, growing with every passing second as the dread sinks in. In the thick of it, Isabella's voice is the one that breaks the hush. A small, weak thing on its own that wavers unevenly between words, but every syllable heavy with meaning.
This is because of that thing, isn't it? I did this somehow.
When it fades, all that's left in the air is her doubt and fear, while all we can do is to... Is there something I can say to make her feel better? Well, I can't stay silent. Can't stay
It
silent.
ain't too late. We could still fix this. There's 3 of us here. 4 if you count Rebecca.
No, she's staying away from this.
She lifts her gaze at me, eyes steady and shoulders squared as she holds it against the baffled look I give her. Although in the next second it immediately softens and it takes me by surprise, nevertheless. In those brief moments, it's like I faced a different person.
I don't want to involve her in this any more than I already have. Both of you as well.
I already said it. That's completely out of the question. Stop asking.
Still in all, that's 2 extra heads who can do the thinking. Between us 3, I'm sure we'll figure something out pretty soon.
Don't make this whole thing sound like it's a piece of cake to deal with.
It ain't. But better than sitting around, yeah? Plan is still a plan.
You're going to shoot yourself in the foot one day with that kind of thinking. We don't even know who's doing this. The last 2 murders might just be similar incidents done by 2 different suspects.
Hasn't stopped you from going after them before. Remember that time when you...
Okay, stop right there. There will be no retelling of that incident today, Z-Man. Or ever.
Keep calling me Z-Man and maybe I will.
Suddenly, Isabella laughs. Though muffled by her hands, it rings light and easy against the thick tension in the room. Still a far cry from the usual cheer she carries, but brings a welcome shift in the otherwise dreary mood.
Thanks, you two.
I'll tell you about it when he's not around.
Give it up, Z-Man. She's not interested.
Who says I'm not?
Ash makes a face but chuckles at the jest despite himself.
Why am I even friends with you two?
And like this, most of our worries ebb away, if if only for a few moments. They take their leave mere minutes close to sundown, but regardless of the lighter mood, little has been said of their plans, only vague hints of what they're aiming to do after. While it ain't any of my business to know, something about this whole thing still gnaws at me. A tiny passing thought urges me to do something as well. At this hour, the streets are once again busy with people heading home after a hard day's work. Little of the bustle matters to them as they step out the crowded walkway, however. Ash especially. There's only his goal in his mind, and I wager there's nothing I can do to stop him at this point. He's probably decided on it long before they made the decision to drop by. But despite this, Isabella lags behind. A worried crease is back on her forehead as she watches Ash leave to get his car.
Something wrong, Bella?
No, actually... Can you take home Becca for me after this? I really didn't get the chance to tell her where I'm headed off to. Tell her I'm okay and we're... No, just that. That's all.
You sure I should skip on that part? If she finds out about this, she'll be angry. I don't really want to deal with angry Rebecca. It gives me a stomachache just thinking about it.
Neither do I, but I'll handle it if she gets mad. Just make sure she's safe and tell her to be careful. You too. Take care of yourself.
Almost abruptly, she pauses, the gaze in her eyes hardening as she lapses into another one of those long, distant silences from earlier. This ain't just because of the whole fiasco with the letter either, anymore.
I don't want what happened to Rose to happen to you guys as well.
This one cut deeper. Before I can ask about it, Ashton returns, casually swinging his car keys on one hand and gestures at Isabella.
Come on, we don't have much time. Shirley's waiting.
Who's sure? Oh, right. Don't answer that. I don't want to hear it, you huge dork.
Says the person who gave her stuffed toys names. Batcat? Really?
It's cute. Yours is just weird. I'll see you later, Zach.
She spares me another smile, and as I watch her walk off, only now did it occur to me that none of those she gave today were... Oh, damn it. Made a quick grab for the back of his parka. He staggers briefly before correcting himself and shooting me a confused stare.
Is she all right?
What? Who's okay?
Isabella. She's been, I don't know, out of it today? Did something happen earlier?
The scowl on his face says it all.
She's actually been like that this morning. I'll ask, but...
Just do me a favor and watch over her. We have no idea what we're dealing with. I don't know what happened to her since the last time I saw her, but from how she's been doing today, whatever it is, it seems like a pretty big deal. Wait, you didn't annoy her again, did you? Because I swear to God, if you did, you've got another thing coming for you.
What? No. Why would I? Just so you know, I already apologized for the one at the movie house. Granted, she deserved more of an apology, but I meant it that time.
I'm just asking. I'll take your word for it. But if you can find out what's bothering her, that'd be nice. Honestly, I don't think it's the letter this time.
I'll see what I can do.
Make sure you keep yourself out of harm's way, alright?
Yeah, you too. Don't do anything reckless again.
Reckless, no. But I can't make you the promise I won't do anything. After seeing that, there's no way in hell I'm going to pretend there ain't a problem when there is. This is a really big one, and I'll be damned if I let anything happen to you guys while I sit here. I'm done running when things get tough.
He's about to argue for a moment, but...
Look, bro, if things ain't good, I'll be the first one out. But allow me this one thing, aight? Just this one time. If it doesn't work out, you'll be the first one to know. You can laugh then, or berate me all you want. But please don't ask me to step aside like I'm incapable of doing anything to help.
I've no idea if it's the look on my face or the tone of my voice. Ultimately, although his mouth presses in a thin line, he nods.
All right, stay safe, Zach.
When he stumbles into the sidewalk and allows the afternoon crowd to swallow him whole, I like to think the tiny gleam in his eyes is the closest we can get to optimism in this situation. Whether that alone will be enough to give me a peaceful sleep tonight remains to be said. Oh, October 30th, Sunday. Night falls, and despite my best attempts, sleep continues to elude me. With her image still stuck in my head, flashing every few moments, it catches me off guard, with Ma's lullaby still echoing in my ears, no longer the soft tune it once was. And the terrible gnawing at the pit of my stomach, it's no wonder I can't bring myself to drift off even for a little while. It is not as if there is a complete lack of things to do while waiting for sleep to come, if it ever will. And at 2:45 in the morning, I find myself cleaning my photography equipment for no other reason than to just pass time. Although I'm going to be honest, it is not the night terrors that are keeping me wide awake, but the anxiety and hope I'll hear from Ash or Isabella soon. And for what perhaps the 42nd time, my eyes shift over to the end of the table where my phone lies still. It's not heard from them since they left. They haven't promised to call, of course, but a small part of me wishes they would have common sense, at the very least. Waiting is a tough game, with concerns stretching out with the minutes far longer than usual. It's impossible for more unpleasant thoughts not to enter my mind. Moreover, it does not help that when the clock finally strikes 3, my hand stills. It will be completely an utter lie to say my heart didn't leap straight in my throat in the brief second. My whole body is gone, motionless, ears straining for any further sounds. A couple of tense seconds pass. Nothing. Of course, with how old the building is I'm staying in, power fluctuations ain't anything new. Every now and then this would happen, leaving a few tenants in a rather bad mood. Nothing unusual anymore after a few years of living here. But this time, the sudden hush brings with it the stillness that raised the hair on the back of my neck and set my heartbeat against it. Something reeks in the air, and in an instant, this place is no longer home. It's a prison. Every rational fiber in my being screams at me to leave. I force myself to swallow and keep a clear head as I lay down at the cleaning tools and begin gathering together the rest of my things scattered about on the table. The camera bodies, lens, filters, diffuser, phone, anything my hand could reach. But in the resulting panic, shit, like in the nightmares, it is a scent that reaches me first. A foul, putrid smell filling my lungs with the heavy stink of death. My fingers clamp tightly to the camera, holding it closer to my body, and a tiny thing would provide enough protection to whatever it is with me in the room. It won't, but it's the only comfort I have.
Hello? I know you're in here.
I'm getting the goosebumps.
What do you want?
Something moves behind me, a soft scuttling over the walls, followed by the squelch and painful creaking of what will only be rotten flesh and broken bones. Without hesitation, I whirl around with my fingers and camera ready, patiently waiting for another movement.
Leave! Leave now! There's nothing here for you!
There's a brief moment of silence after, and for a short while, I think my pleas worked. Then, with no warning, the shuffling resumes, and along with it are the sobs of a woman. Use the mouse to look around. Spacebar. I'm at 91%. How far does this camera bullshit go? I don't like this, dude, and I'm getting the heat. Howdy. The light flashes fleetingly one last time, allowing me a glimpse of her grotesque, misshapen features before once again lost in the darkness. Ooh, thank God the lights are on in my room, dude. I'm fucking flipping. All of a sudden, her tune changes, no longer a soft cry, but a high-pitched shriek brimming with pain, grief, and anger. Every ounce of courage I've mustered flees from my body at the sound, and the next thing I know, my hand is gripping the knob and I'm wrenching the door open. It really pissed her off with that camera. Her wails follow me as I flee into the night. Pacing has always been more of Ash's thing than mine. When I want to think, I sit and let the minutes tick by until an idea comes to my mind, or my pulse settles down, and yet dried leaves and twigs crack under my shoes as I make another pass at them. Terror is too mild to describe what this is. There's no way in hell I'm going back. Whatever she is, pleading won't work. The moment we saw that letter, she's been after us.
But I can't run. Not this time.
We're gonna go back in. Nearly 2 hours have gone by since I left the comfort of my room for the solitude of the park. 2 excruciating hours since I've started making calls. No one's answering. Not even Rebecca, who has always kept her phone line open in case other people need her. Or Isabella, who frequently checks for hers for any messages and readily responds as soon as she can afford. It does not help that Ash hasn't said a word where he went off to as well.
Damn it! I knew I should have asked him before I let him leave.
Knowing him, he can be anywhere. Shouldn't have gone to the park, but there's really only one place he'll likely be at this time. The sun has already peaked over the horizon when I make it. I have no idea what I'm expecting when I got there. There's Ashton first and foremost. Part of me wishes my assumptions are correct and he's really somewhere close by on a stakeout. But I've never been the lucky sort when it comes to that kind of guessing. And even after I've made a round of the immediate vicinity, I could find neither hide nor hair of him. Calling him does no good either, considering how awful the signal is here. He can't be too far if he's really here, but if he is, he would have already noticed me by now. Instead, there is only silence, the kind too quiet to find any sort of comfort in. Even the trees seem to have fallen asleep with the rest of the mansion, oblivious to what's happening around it, a small island of stillness in an otherwise fast-paced world. No wonder the whole Anselm feels at odds with the rest of Luxembourg, while the city is alive, growing every minute, breathing every second, and pulsating with life. What? Unchanged. It's not surprising the legend still lives up to this day, and why she's still here, walking its hollowed halls. And beyond me, the mansion looms ominously, but now ain't the time for fear. Even if Ash is not here, I've still got to let the Wrights know what I've seen, what's in their home. And whatever grievance Ash has with them doesn't matter. There might be grounds for imprisonment, but they don't deserve a brutal death at the hands of one malicious spirit. And I'm sure Isabella would want the same thing. I head straight for their door without a second thought. Takes a few rings to sound loud above the foreboding stillness before I hear footsteps on the other side.
God and Bennett, only a Nancy would knock at such an ungodly hour.
Uh-oh.
Where's that damn butler when I need him?
Before long, the door swings widely open with Mr. Luke Wright standing behind it. Seething would be a complete understatement to describe him. Like this, I've got no doubt why Ash would find him a suspect.
You! Again! It's bloody 6 in the morning! What the hell is it now?
Listen, sir, I know this is not a good time.
Oh, it's not a good time! Did you even check the clock before coming here? I bet you didn't! Unlike you, the ones living in this house need to sleep. Come back when people are actually awake, or I'll call security on you.
Before I can get a word in, he slams the door to my face and bolts it shut with much finality.
Wait, sir, you gotta hear me out! You're both in danger if you stay in there! Have you seen the news lately? Everything's not a coincidence!
Only silence answers me. Maybe if it was Miss Wright. Oh, who am I kidding? I've already seen the look on her face when I tried before. There are limits to how far a person will believe in you. Then again, I didn't believe Isabella when she warned us. And now I'm here, desperately trying to save people even if I'm aware I'm completely out of my own capacity to do so. Is this what they call karma? If so, this is one horrible way of turning things around. Taking people's lives, playing with people's fears, making them feel useless.
You're around, ain't you? You here? Inside this house? Listening, watching, or whatever it is that you spirits do? What do you want? You're already dead! Leave us!
Damn. Nothing. I don't even know who I'm talking to or if a sane person is supposed to be doing that. The only thing I got after this is a feeling of foolishness washing over me. Or perhaps this is just me losing my mind. Out of other options and any other ideas, I let my hand slide off the door's surface and fall listlessly to my side. I can go back to Luxembourg, just trying to find the others, to get out of this mess with them. Or let them know how much in deep shit we all are. Both sound good. Either way, my loitering here ain't helping at all. I let the quietness calm me for a few more minutes before standing up and heading out to fetch my bike. It's quiet and distant to Luxembourg, but if I hurry, I'll reach it, and maybe... The rustling stops as soon as I turn around and strain my ears for any other movement around me.
Yo, Ash, you there?
No answer. If he's here and I've just missed him earlier, already my feet are moving in search of him for the second time, it won't hurt to double check. Triple check even, with how big the property is. He can be anywhere. If things ain't so urgent, if they ain't so dire that lives are at stake, I'd probably have just waited for him to show up again.
But damn it! He needs to realize what exactly it is he's dealing with.
That is not just a petty criminal he can simply throw in jail. That is something beyond the authority his police badge could ever give him. The guy needs to stop playing the big damn hero, sit down and chill. My breathing comes in short, shallow rasps by the time I make it back to where I started. Still no sign of him, and I'm beginning to think I'm just wasting my time here. But that is when I hear it. Oh no, I'd recognize the melody in a heartbeat. Ma's favorite song. I listen for a while, trying to gauge where exactly from the house it's coming from. My feet starts moving before I can stop them. And there, as I circle a corner, from a room in the first floor, a single window is open, but I can't make out whoever's inside. However, I'm sure the singing comes from there. Still, while I'll hear an old tune here of all places, I won't know. It's not an obscure song by all means, but it is pretty rare to find someone who knows this. And for some reason, death seems to follow the song around. Panic lodges itself at the base of my throat at once. Whoever's humming might be, I don't know, want to be pessimist now, but on the off chance that is Miss Right.
Shit.
I shouldn't just barge in there. I can put myself in danger before I can save anyone. Ash will tell me in the exact same words. Might even write me a dissertation why this is a bad idea if he ain't so lazy. Damn it, damn it, damn it, god damn it. Someone could be in danger. Oh. It's not a good idea though, I know it's not, because it's probably Mrs. Wright, but she has the necklace. Fuck. Shit, dude. My instincts are telling me to look for Ash, but my instincts are telling me to go through the window. Yeah, but listen to that cry though. That ain't human. That ain't human at all. Wait, what's my relationship with Mrs. Wright? She's the same. That's not... Bruh, that's not a normal fucking... I'm gonna scare myself again if I go in there, dude. That's not a normal cry. That's not. That's fucked up cry. But I want to enter. Keep looking for Ash. Should I enter the window? Shit. Fuck it. Like, I can search for Ash, but what if it's too late by then? With how big this place is, he can be anywhere, and it's very likely By the time we come back, someone's already bit the dust. That and the cries grow louder against my ears the longer I linger. This isn't a good idea. Almost impossible to ignore, drawing me in the moth to a flame. For a moment, I let myself shudder, shaking an uneasy feeling off my head. Yeah, because this can't be a good idea. Not by a long shot. It's not. Still, I've got to try. Funnily enough, for a couple of high profiles is right, they don't seem to have any security detail patrolling around. A few guards here and there, sure, but one will expect they'll have more considering the size of the place. It works to my advantage though, and I really can't complain when there's a high chance I might get arrested for what I'm about to do. Luckily, the window's wide enough for me to fit through without making any noise. Dude, I'm about to get murdered. There's certainly no going back now. I'm going in for my death, but as soon as I step into the parlor, all of it ceases while I find no trace of the woman I heard crying like I'm expecting to. Fuck. The room is still empty at the time of the morning, and I'm left staying awkwardly in the middle of the hush. Alright, jump back out. Maybe she just hid
Hello?
somewhere.
Are
Nope.
you here?
Nope, jump back out.
I heard
We're
someone
done.
earlier, and I'm here to help.
Hoping for an answer, I let the question hang in the air. My whole body screaming, no. This is where I die. But several seconds merely go by without a word or the slightest movement to indicate there is someone in here. Has been here. With the stories I've heard, the things I've seen, it takes effort to keep my brain from going into that line of thought.
I'm not going to hurt you. If
Dude,
you're here, say something.
that's not what I'm concerned about. Nothing. Am I just hearing things? No, I'm pretty sure I heard someone. Yeah, it's insane, Mrs. Wright. But with no one responding, I can't help but feel silly like this. And the awareness that I've just trespassed the house for nothing because of some voice prickles at me. Or I'll get shot by Mr. Wright. Suddenly the silence feels uncomfortable and the needling anxiety slowly creeps up my back. I should get out of here while I can. If it ain't there, it ain't there. Let's go. I don't spare the room another glance when I walk back to the way I came. Oh no. Out into the window, leave before someone else
I
notices.
thought I heard a servant moving around here. Turns out it's just a rat scurrying about. How unpleasant.
Johan. My heart shoots up into my throat. I can run. The window's a few steps away. I should be able to escape, but instead, out of some foolish impulse, I turn around. Perhaps it's because the only impression the guy has left me is what few times we met is nothing but unsettling.
This ain't what you think it is.
You're quite the distance from the kitchen, I'm afraid. Perhaps I should lead you there.
You can kill me?
Someone's in here before me. I wasn't here for what you're thinking. There was sobbing and...
The first blow knocks the wind out of me, sending me heaving and crumble. Tears well up my eyes
gotta
as the
listen
pain
to me.
swells.
Then again, dirty thieves aren't welcome in my kitchen either.
Oh shit, knocked out. For a moment there is only silence and a sudden piercing ache. The room abruptly tilts on the axis, dimming. On the verge of unconsciousness, I can only hear the scuffling of foot, the thud of the door being closed, and a woman crying, asking for help. Ah, did you lock me in the cellar? I know no more. You locked me in the cellar, you bitch, I'm dead. Fuck. Fuck. This is what I do for trying to help. The pain is the worst when I come to a sharp piercing ache somewhere at the back of my head, begging to be noticed. But it's nothing that I can't handle. Blearily, I open my eyes, expecting to be greeted by sunlight. No, I'm still in darkness. Oh, however, the walls that woke me are unfamiliar. Oh, I'm in jail. When everything comes into focus, I recognize the place for what it is. I'm in, county. Yeah. Dark, cramped, with the only light coming from the moon outside, streaming through the sole window barred by thick metal bars. Memory rushes back to me in a sharp burst, the mansion, looking for Ashton, a familiar tune, and a woman crying. All while my head still aches from the hit I've received.
Still better than a morgue, I guess.
For now. Gingerly, I pull myself up, stretching the cramps from my shoulders as I do so, but stopping when a sudden movement induces an acute, stinging pain
Damn,
right
that
through
got
my
me
head.
good. What time is it?
As expected, they've taken everything I have on my person: wallet, cell phone, my keys, meds, even a small pack of gum. Protocol is protocol. In the first place, ending back in another cell ain't in my agenda. The first time was not a pleasant experience, and this certainly won't be either. Considering who has likely put me in here, it could be much worse. The bars are cold to my touch when I approach it, looking for the person on duty. They'd usually allow us to contact someone, and Ashton at least has to know I'm here. Maybe. He'll be pissed that I'm quite sure of it, but he's the only one that can help me prove my innocence and get me out. However much I don't want to rely on him for this. The hallway in front of the cell is empty, but voices float through the further end, likely the poor officers assigned a late night duty. Judging from the snippets of conversation I catch, today's topic over snack is that a moron who thought it was wise to cross the rights. Hey, that's me. They'd use other names too, most of which I'll have to use words with them about in the future. But really, I'm in no position right now.
Excuse me? Anyone?
Silent.
Excuse me! I need to make a...
Blood freezes in my veins and my grip on the bars tighten. Great. This is where I die. I don't dare turn, because more than a haunting melody, I'm afraid of what I'll see or who's singing Ma's lovely lullaby. Death song. That's what it is now. But I guess that is what I has always been. If that's the end calling, I'd prefer that it is not her vicious smile that I last see last.
Sweetie. Don't you love this song?
No, fuck off. Fuck off, Mrs. Wright. My head snaps up in surprise. I swivel to see Miss Wright of all people, sitting on the cot. Her smile is easy and sweet as ever. No,
Miss Wright? What are you... how did you...
It's that fucking necklace, dude. Get up. I jostle the cell door to check. Prison break is the last thing on my mind, of course, but her presence here begs for a lot of puzzling questions to be answered. She's death. Locked tight. Was I just too groggy earlier that I didn't notice her?
Don't be surprised, darling. Money and power can get you anything.
She has a point. I don't like those glossy looks on her eyes. Out of all the people, she knows more than anyone how to play the game in the world. Yet to hear it straight out of her, it's like talking to a different person. I don't bring this up, however. Perhaps she was just having a bad day or a tiff with her husband. After the incident the other day at their party, well, I don't like gossip, but it won't be surprising. Anyone can say the strangest things when in a bad mood. Still,
you weren't supposed to be here, Miss Wright.
Why ever not? Isn't it comfortable here?
Well, it is, kind of. But you're still not supposed to be on this side of the cell. Besides, it's too early. Or too late for a visit. This is beyond the scheduled hours.
Oh, I'm sure Chief Inspector Lee wouldn't mind a little chat between friends. Besides, his prison officers just snoring in the break room.
I'm gonna die in this cell. She brushes off a lock of her hair from her shoulder, stands up and meanders around the length of the cell for whatever space it would allow. As if this is just a simple stroll in the park, making a show of checking every scratch the past occupants of the room have left on its walls. Nevertheless, I try to make myself small against in the corner. Any closer and we'll be crossing each other's personal spaces. Frankly, that's more than I'm comfortable with.
Be that as it may, they have cameras here too. How are you going to explain that when they check?
That doesn't matter, dear.
It does. Your popularity ain't gonna give you any kind of immunity from the law. I appreciate the visit, but I'd rather not see you get into trouble.
It makes her stop. But just as I'm starting to think, I finally reasoned with her.
You don't want to get out of here?
Of course I do. But you don't have to do anything. It's my fault. I'll find a way out of this mess.
You did bring it to yourself.
This really is just a misunderstanding, Hannah. I didn't mean to trespass. If you'll just listen to the whole story, you'll know I didn't mean to do it.
I'm really disappointed in you.
I look straight at her, at the sudden change of her tone, checking for any signs if I've upset her with what I did. Of course she would be. She has every right to. After all that talk, the little attempts to build a friendship, here I went and broke into another person's house. Her home. On so many levels, beyond any kind of friendship, it's still wrong. Her anger doesn't come off as I'm expecting, however. Instead, she smiles. Yeah, fuck. A horrid little smile I didn't even think I'd ever see from her.
Breaking into our home.
Yeah.
Disturbing my love in his sleep.
Yep, I'm fucked.
You've upset my Prince Zack.
Yeah.
You've really upset him.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I am so fucked and panic swells in me, ripping up my spine. Irrational, I know. You shouldn't feel this way about anyone you know. But here I am, backing away, trying to keep an ample distance between the two of us. I'm afraid, wholly afraid of her. Alright, Zach, it's time to kick the shit out of her. This ain't Hannah. The bars rattle as soon as my shoulders hit it. A hindrance, not to freedom, but to safety.
Has anyone ever told you how beautiful those eyes of yours are?
Nope, I fucked up, guys.
Nana? Occasionally my sister.
This was all set up from the start.
Are you alright?
Goodbye, Zach. She laughs, a deranged little thing coming from her. There's no cheer in it, no warmth. Only spite.
Makes me want to take them home, wrap them in those pretty ribbons I have in my vanity.
No, no, I will kick the
I'm
shit out
pretty
of
sure
you
my
right
prince
here.
would love it, don't you think, Zachary? A little gift from me.
No,
Stay away from me!
I will absolutely end everything. She moves in short, sudden, bone-crunching twitches that are too painful for me to watch. I want to look away, but I can't. Is it going to be a quick time? I'm screaming for help before I know it, jolting the bars with as much force as I could.
Somebody! Get me out of here! Anyone, please!
Punch her in the face, dude.
Bugger off! Some people are trying to get some sleep here!
Thanks, officer.
No! She's here! You've got to let me out! She's gonna kill me! Someone! She's...
Oh, you poor thing. Don't you worry. You won't even feel the pain.
Come on, Zach. We can pull through. We can pull through this adversity. What beautiful eyes you have. Oh, shit. You've unlocked a memory fragment. Oh? Marianne. Numbers are so little on the top of my screen and fuck! Well, is there just like a... I'm so sorry, Zach. Fuck! We fucked up, guys. I fucked up. I shouldn't say we fucked up. I fucked up. You guys just saw my poor decision making. The numbers are so little on the top of my screen, and they glare at me with such intensity that I can just hear their accusations. I'm late for a night out with the girls, yes, but I have perfectly good excuse. Jeez. Considering I didn't follow typical office hours, they really can't expect me to be able to just go as I please at 5:30 on the dot. The client is, first and foremost. I have to sit tight when my personal assistant Chris tells me that I have a big one coming up, and I shouldn't miss that one. He knows a lot more on who's who and what's what when it comes to these socialites, and I trust the judgment call. I really don't have time for rich people, their drama, and their politics. These sort of who were born with silver spoons in their mouth and who are used to wagging their silver tongues about. I let them handle the negotiating with them for the most part. Why else would I have hired him? But he told me I'd receive a message about it an hour ago.
Now, if only he has the full shilling when it comes to the time.
Come on, I have a social life too, to an extent. Sort of. Pressing my head against the table, I tried to stave off an incoming headache. When the notification for a new email pops up, all I'm expecting is a, hey, this looks like a good project I found. Go send them a design or something like that, really. That's how it often goes. Even with these rich, jammy clients who've heard of me from their equally rich, jammy friends, I can't expect them to hire me right off the bat, which is all well and good and reasonable. We figure out what they want, send them a portfolio of my drafts for their projects, my rates, and hope for the best. This is a big client, Marianne. I'll babysit Baruthiel for you. Just please take this one project. I promise this person is huge in Luxembourg. Mr. Parker, this is my formal request to secure the services of Mariana McCullough, hereinafter called the designer. As authorized by Hannah Wright, hereinafter called the client for interior design work in the Armagard Mansion, Luxembourg, LX, whatever. The client hopes to have the designer there on the 21st of October, Friday, with the time pending. But as I open the mail and see what I've requested by the client specifically, well, I certainly didn't expect that. It's pretty straightforward too. Anyone else would probably be excited. They would be working with the Hannah Wright. She's just one of those rich socialites that everybody loves to talk about, no matter how hard I try to tune such nonsense out. It would have been enough for me to reply as an affirmative to Chris and leave, but he has never pleaded for me to take a project before. We've worked with big personalities in the past, celebrities, bankers, even a few politicians. My PA has been indifferent from those, so the question bounced about my skull before I spy one of the email attachments. A newspaper clipping from the Luxembourg Daily Business News section boasting a headline, Wright Enterprise donates $2.5 million to refuge. It certainly caused quite a stir back then. Apparently, they had invited businessmen and socialites everywhere in the guise of it being some big business announcement.
$2.5 million and an expensive-looking party to boot. These people sure know how to throw their money around.
Not that I should be so callous. They're going to do a lot of good and help a community of people with all those pounds. I, of all people, shouldn't criticize such acts, whether they were for show or not. At the very least, I know they'll be able to pay my rates. With the headline out of the way, however, I find myself staring at the picture that came along with the clipping. Because, wow, here I am expecting a sour old woman in a blazer and skirt. But the woman that was plastered on the front page looked like she belongs on the front page of the entertainment section, or even, if I may be crass, as the pinup for a glamour. Okay, I'll be real here, a men's magazine. She sure knows how to rock that dress. Wait. Her hair, her eyes, her lips, she can't be her. And at that same time, she is her, only several years older. She looks just like... No, come on, Mac. The world is full of pretty blondes. It's just a coincidence. With a shake of my head, I snap out of it and reach for my phone when it buzzes, nearly falling off my chair in the process. Who else would be on the other line but the very people waiting for me?
Oh, piss. I'm so sorry, Cam. I'm on my way.
That's what I say. Yet I still don't move from my chair, face flushed and heart racing. I can only stare until I can will myself to reply that yes, I'm accepting the assignment. And it takes even more time for me to just close the image, shutting down the computer, and leave. Even then, it has already burned its image into my head, no matter how much I wish it to just disappear. It makes me eager for the alcohol and the company. It makes me eager for anything that I can help me forget. It's a good thing that the nearest pub is just a hop, skip, and a jump from here. It's probably about her girlfriend or her fiance that passed away. The Crawl Bar, my home away from home ever since I've moved to Luxembourg. Well, that is when I'm not coped up in my condom and working anyway. It is good alcohol, good company, and thank God in St. Cecilia, good music. Crowd favorites like the Bothy Noise, the High Whistling Wind, Second Fusion Orchestra are often played, not to mention the singing. I love singing. Anyone could just break out into a drinking song, and the others in the pub were just wonderful that they'd start singing along. And doing so while intoxicated is the best way to go about it. Hey, it's a win-win as long as I don't puke in the middle of the chorus, and as long as I can get home in one piece at the end of the day. And tonight is karaoke night, and what's better time than to try and sing all my worries away than what my intoxicated brain tells me.
The ghost of guilt and sorrow remembers who I am, and in the prison of my heart, I was my lonely sleigh.
At least change the background music. But drinking only reminds me of my home, and the thoughts of home makes me think of her.
But in the depths of my cold soul, I'll leave the burden and despair.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where we will end episode 11. Do you think I fucked up? I think I fucked up. With Zach? Who knows? Well, we will have to see in the next episode. Thank you all for watching. You have a fantastic day.